What's up YouTube, Spencer K here, and I am on the beloved Nations 1.0 XB1E world, and this is not my skin. I don't know what happened. I used to have a chicken Steve, or a Steve with the chicken shirt, but it's not here, and I don't really feel like changing it right now. But nonetheless, we are on Nations 1.0 Xbox One Edition, also known as XB1E in most of my videos, because that is a mouthful. And what am I doing on this old ass world, dude? We're here to retire it. It has come to my attention. I've actually known for a very long time, but recently, because of some other projects in the works, it's come back up that we have never retired this world. This world has technically been active ever since its start date in 2015. I want to say it was 2015. I don't know the exact date. I'm sure if you backtrack some of my older videos, you'll be able to get a rough estimate. I don't know if you're gonna find an exact date. I never really, for this world I never uploaded, hey, it's day one guys, welcome to Nations 1.0 XP. No, I just kind of started uploading the drama and whatnot that was going on. But we're gonna officially retire it, and we're gonna do it how I used to do it way in the old days for the first couple of Nations worlds. And I just stopped doing it, I guess, but we're gonna do it that way. We're gonna travel the whole world, check out all the nations, check out all this stuff. I'll tell some stories, maybe some tall tales along the way, and at the end of it, we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll remember this world very fondly for the rest of our lives, maybe for a couple of weeks. But either way, we're gonna go ahead and tour the world, say our goodbyes, kind of talk about some stuff, and coming right out of the gate, we're in my nation. I just felt like it was proper to start it in my nation. There was no official world ranking for this world. Like in Nations 2.0 Bedrock Edition, we did do official world rankings, and we're kind of able to establish roughly who's, where, give or take. I did my best to rank it fairly, but I always thought there was a little leeway depending. And, I always encourage other people to do their own world rankings. I can make a copy of the world. You can come on and check it out. No one ever wanted to do it. It's a lot of work if you do it my way. So, which I believe was the right way. Never was done on this world, and therefore I'm just gonna kind of have to estimate. But after you see my entire nation, I have a pretty good feeling you're gonna agree. Okay, maybe he was world power. After that though, it is a toss up in the air. A lot of contenders for top 5. The rest of the top 5, very close. But there's one more disclaimer I want to say before I continue on. I did log on to the world in the survival version. I just made this copy of the survival. So this is the creative copy. I guess I should disclaim that first. I make a copy of the world to fly around and do all this. The actual survival, legitimate version is still there. It is just not actively here. And I was trying to do something because we had an idea for a series a while back where all the old nations that we were still in contact with and everyone that we could get on, because now we could have a Bedrock realm and get a couple extra people on. And if we switched it over to Java, where, I like that version a little bit more, we could get it on a server and have almost an unlimited amount of people. But I was going to put this, what is this, granite wall all the way, granite wall all the way around the actual map, which is a 5x5 map at the time. I believe the maps are just a little over 1,000 by 1,000, so be about a 5,000 by 5,000-ish wall all the way around the map. I actually got a pretty good chunk done, going all the way to Ravens and then south some. But we're going to invite everyone back, kind of finish up in our territories, get ready for the update, and then we're going to do like a Nations 1. Xbox, I don't know, some sort of expansion where now we invite new nations, and we have all the original nations here in the Nations 1.0 XB1E world, and then all the new people just expand out in this territory. And then all the existing nations like mine here can just go in their backyard and be like, yo, wait a minute, there's some new stuff here that has never been in the game before, That's kind of cool. Maybe not right here, that's a poor example. I'm pretty sure all this stuff is pretty common here, but stuff like that. We're gonna do a series. Not gonna happen, so you may see a granite wall and also a lot of new territory, because this is back on Xbox One Edition, not Bedrock Edition, Xbox One Edition, where it was a limited world. It was only 5x5, so this was non-existent. If you remember the old videos, this was the world border. It all went out to ocean, and you couldn't go past where the granite is, and that's why you're gonna see all of my structures and all of my nation is never going to cross this. And you're going to see that for a lot of other nations. It was a common theme in this world to kind of claim on the border, because I mean that's a guaranteed safe place. No one can attack you from outside of the world border, so I might as well back your base up to it. It was the best option. And you can kind of see here, so the maps are glitchy because they've updated the maps. I tried that one and you could see how that went, so we're just gonna have to ignore all those. But a couple of them didn't glitch for whatever reason, and luckily the one I'm standing in didn't glitch, so you can get a good idea of my capital city here. You can see the capital I'm in. You got my other city right here, my second city. You got the Cluckadega Speedway we'll check out. We got my little, I got a couple of Navy bases, or just military bases. You can kind of see little gray lines going everywhere, like right here, right above my cursor there, there's that gray straight line. There's this one right here going through the snow biome. And then down here, there's a lot of gray straight lines. Those are my highways. We're going to talk about those a little bit as well, just because I think they're fun. You can see Dan's base right there. And you can see, that's about it. Really, only me and Dan made the cut for this one. But as we adventure throughout the world, I'm gonna hope that people's bases load for them. If not, I guess I can get a bunch of maps or something. I don't know. I don't really want to deal with maps though. But I'm gonna try to fit this video into just one episode if I can. I don't want it to be like an hour and a half long. So I'll watch the time. We may just have to do my nation on its own episode and then come back for the retirement part 2 and nail everyone else, or maybe even a third one. I don't know, because I do have a nation's history series coming out. We're going to have a really cool nation's history series. We're going to go all the way back to Nations 1.0 Xbox 360 edition, all the way started back in, I believe, 2013. That's an old world. That's almost 10 years old, gentlemen and ladies out there. Who knows? Ladies may be watching. It's mostly dudes that watch my video, but you know, in case there's that one that slips in, you are also welcomed. Everyone's welcomed here in Nations, except Kaiser. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Kaiser. Actually, I was just talking to Kaiser yesterday. Honestly, though, a lot of nations probably don't like Kaiser, so you know, maybe that's a fair thing. Your old video throwback intro to the anti-Kaiser group where I got trolled. They pretended to make a group. Nonetheless, I'm getting sidetracked. We're going to tour my nation first. I don't know if I've said it yet. If you don't know what nations is, it's very similar to factions and modern day SMPs. But we've been doing this since 2013, and we didn't know about those back when we started this. So it's been going on for almost 10 years now. But without further ado, let's get into my nation, which, as I said, I believe is the world power. So as you're looking at my nation, this is probably going to be the most well-developed, also the largest, easily the largest landmass there is. But I had a lot of stuff, not just like military and, you know, that type of building, just like leisure stuff too, just stuff to, I invited other nations over and we did mini golf tournaments, and it actually functions too. That's the fun part. I'm about to take my elytra off because I don't like how slow that coasts. It's kind of weird. But yeah, you can run in, I think we got rid of the jumping rule, but there is ice underneath it, and yeah, it is fully functional. It's pretty cool. I don't know where I got that idea, but you know, it's nice, and it looks pretty too. That was kind of my thing. I didn't want my whole base to just look like just shitty buildings, because you'll see in my more industrial side, you know, it doesn't look all that pretty. So, but I got my house, got a couple of wolf barracks, and I think a cat barrack. Yeah, let's see, let's check it out. There's a good chance we're gonna have to do 2 or 3 episodes, and we're taking this elytra off. How do I do this? How do I do this? Get off. We'll take it all off. Screw it. We don't need it, right? We're in creative mode. And I hate how slow that gliding is. I'm just trying to do a tour here. But yeah, we had a bunch of dogs, and I colored their collars, so there was like, I thought I named them even. Oh, I did. Hotel Squad. Yeah, I was getting kind of nerdy into it. You get bored after a while, right? If there's no wars going on, no drama, you just kind of have to find busy work to do until something pops up, and you know, hopefully you're not on the receiving end of all that BS. So that was kind of it. But yeah, an 18-hole mini golf course was really cool. Right next to it was kind of like a museum / going to have another purpose. I'd be lying to you if I, you know, tried to tell you what it is. I have no clue. But a metal detector here. Pressure plate is gone. But I'm going to actually show you all the items I have in here. A couple of them are just, you know, we'll call it wax figures, right, to represent something. Not everything has a meaning in here. And I actually don't know what this is. Did I name it? Did I name it? I didn't name it. There's a piece of wheat in here for some reason. Maybe it has to do with Catherine. The Kaiser versus Dash. Okay, yeah. There's some history there. And then the 5 benches. Okay, we'll remember all these crafting tables. Remember these crafting tables. The Old Kingdom of Albelay flag. Dash's old flag. Frosty's remains. One of my snowmen that died. So consider these as the wax figures. These aren't actually the first mined ores, but you know they're kind of cool. The first sea in flight. That's actually a part 2 to that too. The very first ever redstone plane was built by Runty from my nation, heading back home southward to Oregon's nation, I believe, and that is the remains of the launch pad he built on one of my mountains. Just a bunch of little things, I guess. I don't have to go through it. Peaceful flowers people gave me. I think the first elytra, actually. I think that is actually the first elytra. I think I made sure to put that one aside. That one's really nothing. Runty's emerald. So this is an emerald Dan stole from Runty in a war between Dan and Runty. And it's actually Runty's emerald. Dan actually donated the emerald to the museum. So if Runty ever watches this, Runty, Dan doesn't have your emerald anymore. I do. So no, I'm just kidding. It is in the museum. I think it has to be. You know, that was a war. And then right next to it, the fire resistance potions. Not actually the potions, but if you know about it, you know about it. We'll get into all that. The water bucket used to make Runty's ocean. We got a Runty section going on here. And then Catherine's remains. Catherine's not actually dead, Dash, if he watches this. But we'll show you Catherine later. For anyone that doesn't understand any of those references, that is absolutely fine. Just roll with me. We'll definitely adventure and see it all, but I don't want to go and, you know, come back and forth. So we'll just show you all that now, and we'll kind of come back later and check it out. I feel like I should stop flying, and we should just go building by building in my nation. Just right now decide that this episode is going to be about my nation, and we'll come back for the rest of the retirement in a part 2, because I mean, I can't. I feel like skipping just like all of the buildings and all the history isn't a retirement, right? Like it's about talking about everything that went down. It's not just going to be like, all right, here's the world, goodbye. You know, no. I wanted to showcase the world in a way, right? Because this is the end of the world. We'll never be seen again, and probably we'll never have any more series. So I don't want to just hide half the stuff. I mean, not everything's going to be super crazy, but you know, just kind of like an old Creative Cribs or something, like how Big B Stats used to do that, or one of those types of worlds. But we got a little villager trading outpost here. These were really popular in the beginning. I mean, obviously, they really still are. There's a new way to do it, I see, where they put a 1x1 block gap with the bed behind the villager, and then the little book. I don't know what they're called. I actually don't know what they're called, but the little book shelf pedestal looking thing in front of them so they can get mending. I guess there's ways to farm for mending easier now. The mine rail system, yes sir, I am definitely the #1 in the world when it comes to rails and roads. There's no questions about it. You can't even debate it. I have the most because I have the most land. I really needed to. The most cities and I guess you could say states as well, all that good stuff. But we're now entering the embassy district. Now I actually had an embassy for every single other nation in the game. Now, I'd be lying to you if I could tell you whose flag is what, but it looks like that's Dash. Let's see who this is. Cool guy. Let's see, unnamed. No flag here. I guess I could have checked that first. Let's see, we got money. Cool. Who is this? That is actually Oregon. Oregon right there. Check that one out. We got Dan right here with his flag. Hyrule. Also, I just want to disclaim, I built the buildings, but they get to decorate it and build their flag. The whole point of it was I didn't want a fucking dirt building in the middle of my capital, which some nations would absolutely build. Maybe not Dan's, but is there, we already said money, I believe. Money. Runty. No, maybe not. There is oh, here it is, actually. I don't know if that's the chocolate nation or the dirt nation, but I don't know if there was a dirt nation in this one. I don't know who that was. Let's see. And then hacker. Okay, I think that's going to be it. Yep, I don't see anyone here. But, yep, most of the nations have a flag here. I believe they all do. There's not a whole lot in this world, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think that's going to cover just about everyone. I didn't see Ravens or Kaiser, so maybe not. Maybe they just didn't build a flag. But who knows? But yeah, we had a nice little embassy area so everyone can be neighbors and, you know, have our diplomacy. And not too far away was the kind of our government building. So I won't go inside and show you all, but this was like the financial building, the government building, and I guess the bank. So we had 2 financial. This was a trade building. Sorry, I guess that's a better way to put it. I don't know if it's still in there and how advanced it is, but we have my symbol right as you walk in. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Get up into the elevator, and I think we were even like flirting with the stock market. No, it looks like the stock market never came to life. But we're gonna have like boards like you would see on a public server of the cost of emeralds, and it was gonna be updated. So I don't think it ever did. But yep, here you go again, my symbol. I thought that was just cool. Right as you walk in, my symbol's on the floor. Not a whole lot in this building until you get to the top floor. That was the map room I showed you guys. We won't really worry about that right now. We will check out my bank, though. Might as well check out the bank. Not going to be as cool as my bank in Nations 2.0, but still pretty cool. You know, got to be obsidian in case. Because back in the day, our only real concern was about TNT. They're really nukes, a.k.a. withers, weren't really as used or as common, nor were other methods that are really common in modern day Minecraft as Minecraft is updated throughout the years. So really the only thing you had to do is put a layer of obsidian on top of your building, which I did on multiple buildings. Let me see if I can find one of them. Nope, not going to be this one. Not going to be this one. There should be one. Maybe not this one. Maybe this one? No, okay, really just none. I would have thought I did that more because there was like a whole Cold War and just stuff going alongside with that, but we'll get into that later. This is another... Oh, what is this? What building is this? Wow, it has, for the most part, pretty good completed interior. Maybe not. Okay, maybe just the bottom floors. Survival's always really difficult when it comes to doing this much interior. Oh, I know what this is. This is kind of like another embassy building. I think every nation was allowed to have a floor, and it would be kind of like an office building for them. Floor 2. Or a financial something. California's operation. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Book and Quill. And I think I built some of this. Maybe Cool Guy did. I don't know. But yeah, I was just kind of, you know, trying to make my base. Okay, yeah, Cool Guy definitely did it. Or he probably got supplies from me, let's be honest. 64 flowers. I don't think he went and got that on his own. No one gets that many flowers except for me. But I was always trying to make my capital like just the capital of not only my country or my nation, but the world. Like I wanted all the other world leaders, allies, and maybe even some people I'm sketchy with to have to almost rely on my capital and my nation, whether it be for trade and travel and stuff. So, you know, that was kind of my deal. I think it was clever. I was pretty clever for how young I was. But this building, a lot of these skyscrapers don't really have any points. I just wanted to build skyscrapers. You guys know me. I love building. So that sums up the rest of them. That one, too, don't really know a whole lot about that. But I think we're getting down to the end of the city here. We'll go over to our, what I call the industrial district, where I had a village. I wanted a village for some reason, and I started building it and stopped. I believe this is a construction building. I just have like a bunch of supplies and projects. No, I got rid of it. All right, I used to have projects in here listed for what I wanted to do, but that's gone. I believe an obsidian farm, and this is one of my above ground rail systems. I thought was pretty neat because it was fully covered. I think because it goes into a couple snowy areas, and it's not even here anymore. This is a partial storage building. This used to be my obsidian farm. I know this is a bakery. This is a bakery for sure. Let's check it out. Ha, I went through the door. And, yep, it is a bakery still, and it has all the supplies in the background from crops and whatnot. Pretty cool building. I actually really like it. I added a back door and whatnot. I really should have obsidian encased most of these. But a storage building, storage building, storage building, storage, 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 and storage. I could not get enough storage in this world. I mean, my capital really took off. And the shulkers. And duplicating was kind of a rampant thing in this world. It really always has been on Bedrock Edition. Because Bedrock Edition has always had duplication glitches. Unlike Java. Java really has not had a whole lot throughout its history. I got two sides of apartment buildings, which I do have a couple of people living in. Most of my citizens do have a slot somewhere. And I had a sheep farm next to a horse farm. So I know the horsies kind of look like they're a little sad, no grass down there, and they just may be sad. But, you know, it's kind of cool having the horses and whatnot. Places to park. your horses, tie them up. I have no clue what this building was going to be, but I have a pretty good guess that it was going to be a storage building, you know, because that's just what I did a lot of. And these two are also storage buildings. All the storage buildings have different items. Like one will have like furniture and stuff. This one had potions. This one, enchantments is what it was, I believe, if I go inside. I'm just going to mind the door here. We're just going to go in. And I made my goofy little entrances, I guess, and, yeah, sharpness. So this was definitely my enchantment one. But alrighty, we are back. I was just right there. Took a quick bathroom and coffee break here. We're going to keep moving right along here. I'm going to show you some other structures I have, then we'll move down to the Cluckadega Speedway, then to my second city. I'm following this rail. I wanted to redo it so it slowly kind of turned to the right instead of those two 90-degree angles. I don't like that at all. Those just kind of anger me. I'm not a fan. But if you follow it far enough, it leads to, I believe, a couple of places. The first one going to be kind of, you'll never guess, another storage area, but it was going to have some like farm stuff. You could see a barn was going up. I was going to put some, I was trying to move all the animals from inside the city outside of the city because there's just so many items storage wise, obviously, as you can tell by my 700 storage buildings. It was already laggy, so I was trying to get the animals out and move them here, but I was having a lot of issues with it. And then we have a speedway here. I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of speedways. So the whole goal was we're going to have horse racing and boat racing. So some tracks are ice, some tracks are just our normal pavement. This one was normal pavement. I built this one to have a figure 8 because I wanted to kind of get into stuff. We're going to mess around, and I thought it was kind of neat. For being all in survival, there was duplication, but still just being able to build this. And you can see one of my highways right here. I actually pointed this one out earlier. Yeah, going through right underneath this, but just something. I think there was anywhere from 4 to 8 4 to 8 racetracks around the world, even in a couple other nations. And we're going to try to make a series out of it and do stuff. Because that's kind of what we always like to do. We always like finding series and whatnot we can have some fun with. You can see my highway kind of came to a stop here, but it was going to continue eastward towards Kaiser and whatnot. My rail actually got across here. I guess that's a little bit easier. It's just been going straight. But that's going to be it for this direction. I'll meet you at Cluckadega. Alrighty, I'm actually back in the city, and I just followed our handy-dandy highway all the way back to the city here. And I never mentioned this, so this is something that was really clever early on. So when this world started, we knew about elytras, but there's really only one, maybe two per world, not a whole lot, you know. So they were really rare. There was a race to get it, and I think I can't tell you the story and how they were acquired, but I know at some point they were duplicated. We didn't know, and it may have not have worked way back on the Xbox One edition, I don't know. But we did not know fireworks can launch you when you're wearing an elytra. We did not know that. So what we would do is make a tower all the way up to the world limit, jump off, and just glide. And so you'll see a lot of these towers, and there's a couple of types of different towers. In Nations 2.0, you may have recognized the water tower we use. There's a water one that shoots you all the way up to the top. And then you had a little landing strip just for looks. Really doesn't do a whole lot because you can land anywhere with an elytra. But it's fun to land on an airport every now and then. So we built that. And the racetrack's actually going to be right over here. But you can see the highway will turn and go south to the second city. And we'll follow that soon. I got a nice seawall here as well as a military base. I didn't talk about the military base. Wow, I'm glad we came back to the city. These are just supposed to look like missile pads. They do absolutely nothing. But the military base itself actually has quite a bit here. That is an underground bunker. We got a couple of barracks filled with doggies. We got, I want to say like a ship store type of deal and a galley, maybe vice versa. A fire station. I don't know what that is. And then like, I guess, I don't know, a captain's house, whatever we did. There's whatever. And then this is the armory. So, and this one has an obsidian roof. And no, it doesn't. Okay, maybe this one just wasn't done. I thought I always did obsidian, water, obsidian, but maybe not. And then the actual storage is underground, well beneath all of this. So if I go inside, go down here. Oh, and there's multiple layers. Wow, okay. And this layer's just not done. So this was going to be the storage building for all the TNT and whatnot, I guess. Especially it being in the capital. Might as well, super far from everyone. But that's going to lead you right into the military base on the other side of the hill here. Really no wall. It's not very secure, is it, huh? We got the Cluckadega racetrack, which I fucking love. This thing's massive, and I believe it's actually done and paved. Look at this. You got the front row grandstands, the massive Cluckadega Speedway. It is just huge, dude. This thing took months. This might have been the largest project to date, and it's still not even done. You can see the highway looping back around on the other side of Cluckadega. I'm telling you, the highways were actually impressive. The amount of highways that were built in this world. Really, really cool. And then you got all the different pit crew stands, so you can pick a color, and that's, I guess, where you'd park your horse. And then you got the way to access the infield. The infield itself not done, unfortunately, but, I mean, even the grandstands on the back stretches are almost done there. Just a massive, massive track. And the seawall going all the way down here to the snowy biome, which is pretty cool. I love the amount of effort that was put into this world. I really do. It is awesome. And then that wall, too, is not only encased in the stone brick, but cobblestone fencing to make it even more blast resistant. I mean, there was just so much clever designs. I mean, that really mean nothing anymore. But back in the day, if you would have seen how we fought back in this world, that was the way to go. Anymore, they just, you know, stack over it or something. But back in the day, it was completely different type of Minecraft. We're gonna go ahead and follow the highway here. Let's follow the highway. But you can see the rails go off in that direction. The highway goes here, and then it splits. So the highway we just saw next to the racetrack is actually this one. So it goes quite a ways. It'll loop all the way around. Pretty cool. But if you go this way, I had a wildfire here. I'm probably the only nation to have a forest fire, and that's also why I have a fire department. I built that right after this. I can't remember how it happened, lightning or something, and while I was building this highway, this whole forest burnt down. You could see even got some swamp trees, and I was kind of getting screwed. I couldn't build the road like I wanted to. But we are now entering my second city, and the second largest sugarcane farm in the world. Still pretty big. Still pretty big. Got a nice building here. What I was known for here are the farm towers. I was known for the farm towers, yes sir. I believe sheep, pigs, cows, horses, all that good stuff under these bad boys. Yes sir, a couple more apartment buildings. These are a little bit nicer. Yeah, these are a little bit nicer apartment buildings. This was going to be a mall. I remember that. Another villager house here. I won't go inside of it. I know we're not even halfway through my nation. It's already getting a little bit long. Yeah, it says over 30 minutes, so... oh yeah, we're gonna have to do a two-parter. Probably a construction house of some sort. I'm not quite sure. And then this is the rail house. This rail house. Okay. Oops. Wrong button. This rail house connected damn near the entire world. I mean, you could go to my capital, to most of my states, right? Yep, State Rail. What is this one? I don't know where that one goes. And then Dan. There's a couple more. I thought there was a couple more active ones. I see some stuff down there. That might have, I don't know. Raven's Nation. Yeah, okay, so there's one. There's a couple. They may just not be listed. But it connects the entire world. And then I had one of my better buildings in this world, I believe. That was an addition onto this building. This building used to be individual, but I decided, hey, let's slap some apartments on top of it. And it looks pretty clean, I think. I like the way that looks. And how it works with the old building, too. I thought that was really neat. We got the world's very first military base. And it has literally nothing but a map wall inside. No storage or anything. Back when this world was started, I never had the land claims I did. This was the beginning of my land. I didn't own anything on the other side of the ocean. So that's kind of why I went and built this. It was supposed to have a bunch of underground stuff too, but I never got around to it, I guess. A little boat area. Where's the maps, man? There should be a map area. Actually, I think it's in here. And it is. And only the same 7 maps are available. So that sucks. But alright, let's go ahead and break our way out of here. And we'll keep pushing. This airport was really cool. Like I said, you're going to get another one of those towers. But I like this one. I had a nice little control tower. And then this runway was diagonal, which I thought was really cool at the time. Still not that big, but I thought it was pretty neat. Alrighty, I am back. And actually, I'm not entirely sure where this is going to get cut into the video, but I'm back. I was just editing the video and I realized I forgot something. Now normally I would have just let it slide, but I actually take a lot of pride in this. It's relatively new. This was actually the last structure I built before I joined the Navy. I was building this really only a couple days before I left and joined the Navy, and I mean that's crazy because I finished my Navy career. I've done my 5 years and I'm now honorably discharged. So yeah, wow, that's this building. If that doesn't tell you how old this world is, then I don't know what will. But I built like a little lumber mill here. But what's really cool is I was showing you guys this is where it is in relation to the city, the second city here. I have little water coming out here, which I thought was neat because what I did is around the other side, I actually raised the water level. You could see the grasses down there and whatnot, and you can actually see the wood, how I was doing it, which back in this version of Minecraft was the only way. Now you could do kelp, so I could start growing a bunch of kelp, and that'll make this a lot easier, which you know, this world's pretty much over, so no reason to. But yeah, this is how it was done back in the day. I had to place a bunch of wood, and then place the water on top and go back and mine the wood. And I was going to do this for this whole river to make it look like a real dam. I thought it was really cool. And on the inside, like a real lumber mill. The reason why I called it a lumber mill is not only is there a forest nearby, but it had the rails going in and out of it. And then it was a wood storage. It has a lot of wood in and out. And then somewhere back here, yeah, you can see all my little wooden blocks here, where I was trying to fill up all the pieces of spruce and whatnot. Holy cow, I had a lot of wood here, man. But yeah, this was a neat little structure that I completely forgot to mention. Obviously not done. Like I said, it was getting worked on right before I left for the Navy. So, but pretty cool. I thought this was a neat structure. That was a lot of work back in the day. That was a lot of work. And that doesn't look like it should hold back the amount of water pressure that's there. I should probably have expanded that a little bit. But yeah, pretty cool. I think that was really neat. And now we'll cut back into the rest of the video. Moving right along. Yeah, moving right along. We're going to go towards my states to the south. This island spawned a lot of animals, and I don't know why. You just come here and get a full inventory of animals. I was going to build kind of like an aircraft carrier, but it was going to be an island. It wasn't, it's going to look like an aircraft, a really shitty aircraft carrier at that, but it was going to kind of, I was going to use the island to have multiple floors of just stuff, and then a landing strip on top. And then someone was going to build like a war blimp for me, but they quit playing. A lot of stuff just throughout the year. And all this is because we're bored. Obviously, that island is going to do nothing except maybe have storage. Like maybe it has food, a restock, resupply, maybe a respawn area for us. You know, but I mean, all this is really useless. It was just fun to get into the game and kind of go through all this stuff. But here we are. This is the rail house for the states. That state rail would go here. You got a highway going that way. And we're going to take it real quick because we do have a couple of states over here. I'll just show you the first one because the other one doesn't really have anything. Well, this one may not either. This one is Terring's old state. And you can see the highway is still cooking, still chugging. And then somewhere out here he has a house and a little farm. And that was really it. It was Terring's little state. Didn't play a whole lot. He actually might have been the one building that blimp for me. The war blimp or whatever it was, but you can see the highway still going. There's like 3 or 4 other states in that direction, but we're gonna go ahead and bypass those to save some time. They weren't really super important states in terms of the world's history and world events. The big boys, the big states, are the ones coming up here very soon. We'll be getting to Lee and Silver states. Those are 2 of my biggest states, really my 2 biggest states. They were at one point in time, and they were neighbors. So following the highways, if you follow this, it takes you south to the border. If you follow it here westward, it takes you over to Lee State. We'll be entering Lee State here, and the highway is going to cut into a state, and you'll see it head over towards Silver. But I had another mini golf course brewing over here. I got this bad boy going, and getting into this state, Lee State, it is no longer Lee State. He got exiled from the country after he basically committed an act of terrorism. Absolutely blew up his own state, Silver State, and my military base back here. No longer in here, but his flag's represented here. I had to change it out. It used to be iron, emerald, gold, and diamond, and I don't like that. I don't like. You can see this is, you know, duplication. You can see that's kind of what he built stuff out of, which looks cool, but I just don't want people to rate it. And I think I made it look pretty cool. I made a really cool flag post that looks like it would be gold. I made a really cool, you know, I left his building there, but I switched all that stuff out. But I put his flag there anyway to represent it. Farm Towers, work building. This was going to be an old museum. I was trying to finish it up for him, put in this type of floor, because I don't want gold. I think he's putting a gold floor or something in, or glowstone, but I was going to put that in his old little farm building. So this building is actually built by him. It was an old farm, and this building was actually built by him, with those colors too, I believe, and the logo in the roof. I believe he did all of that back when he was a state, so those are cool. This building's also kind of a museum for Lee. if he's ever going to watch this. I put my colors around it in a fencing, but yeah, this is the only building that was not repaired from the damage from his grave. He did a number on it, man. Everything looked like this. Everything else was fully repaired and kind of back to normal. We got a couple more buildings popping up here, a couple farms. My military base obviously blowing up here, the turtle there, a couple other stuff. Silver State right there, we'll get into that here in just a second, but this is the largest base in the world. The guard towers were kind of unnecessary. That was just kind of my trend. If you remember way back to Nations 5, I built a lot of guard towers to kind of piss off Dash, and it's just kind of been a trend ever since. So building a lot of those. Each guard tower is a point in the world rankings, by the way, for future Nations Worlds, if you'd like to do that. But yeah, you got all kinds of different buildings. I guess I won't get into every single one. Little helipads and shooting ranges and stuff. Got a little bullshit ship here. This ship was actually supposed to look like this. I know it looks stupid, but this is the, like, way back when I was like 12, 13. That's what I thought a ship looked like. So I rebuilt it just for shits and giggles. Also got bombed, though. Also got bombed in the attack, but was repaired. Yeah, and that's about it for the military base. Just a bunch of little buildings here. Storage, more storage probably. Enchantment room. I don't know what that one is. We got another one of those towers. You can actually make it from this tower to my second city. It is tested and it does work without fireworks. With fireworks, you can make it even further. Another little cute landing strip. I always like the tunnel I built under here. This tunnel leads from Silver's state to Lee's old state. Silver didn't play and actually didn't really end up fixing a lot of the damage. I tried my best to fix it up. I never got the leaves for him. And some of the trees, I was still working on getting some of the trees, I believe, for him. And yeah, you can still see a TNT hole here from the attack and just random stuff all over. But, you know, Silver had a pretty cool state, and they were so close together. They worked really well together until that attack. It was really cool. Highway continues chucking westward. And then Silver's little racetrack here. Got another cute little racetrack. I love this one. I don't know if Silver was here for it, Silver, when I finished it for you, if you were here when we finished it. But I love it. It is so fucking adorable. I got like a little garage here for you, a little infield garage on both sides, and then a tunnel in and out of it. And then, I mean, we can only fit, like, what is that, 12? Yeah, 12 pit boxes, which at this type of track is fine. But I thought that was so cute. It was so adorable. I was like, oh, man, cute little Pocono-style track there. And then I got the road going out here, and I was going to build more. Grandstands right there are done, but I was going to build more like a hotel on either side or something, so you can view it from the hotel balcony. And then the road actually stops here. We haven't found a lot of ends of highways yet in this video. I'm telling you, this nation is easily the world power. It absolutely is. Just so many structures. It's hard to argue against it. To be fair, I had more time on this world, and some of this was done after the fact, really after the world should have been retired. I'll say some of the highways were, but even when the world was retired, when the history thing comes out, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, fair. You know, I think he still had it, but I don't know. It's a fun world, and I definitely miss it. I almost want to hop on it, and I'd love to just fuck around, but I mean, this world's so old. We're talking, this was done on the Xbox One edition. We never played this on Bedrock edition. This world is old. But following the highway here, it goes east and west once again, trying to connect every little crevice of this nation, massive nation, together. We get to our border. This is our southern border. This is it. This is the end of my nation. And we got a nice little cactus farm going on here, but I did something clever here, and it was started before the world was really finished. Lee got exiled, as I said, and his new nation was just south here. I will show it because he didn't really do a whole lot, if I can find it. Let's see, it was around here. I don't even think he has a house. I think there's ruins of a village. Nonetheless, he got exiled just outside of my nation after his terrorist attack. And I basically, it's not just because of him. There was a couple other nations we'll get into that did some questionable things, but I was basically building a border town here, so if anyone wanted to flee their nation, they could come and live here. And I was going to have farms and stuff, and not just cactus farms, but like actual food farms. And then highways, obviously, to everywhere in my country in case they wanted to do stuff. And that was just something I wanted to do, because there was a couple other nations, Dash and Runty, and towards the end, we're in some hot water. So whether it be with other nations or their own citizens, there's some more other than that too. So I shouldn't just call them out. But we'll get into the history lesson here. But yeah, my border wall goes pretty far, and the highway mimics it for the most part. highway will follow it. And it was just awesome. I mean, there's no other nation's world that had just basic infrastructure like this, I don't think. I mean, just the amount of highways. This one was going to be a switch up. I think it was going to go back north or something, and then this one was going to continue west. But nonetheless, man, a lot of highways, a lot of structures, a lot of walls. Wow, this one goes far. I don't even know what this one goes to. Well, goes to right there. I was like, this one, oh yeah, you know what? I probably wanted to turn it. I probably wanted to turn it here. I think that's why I stopped. I went a little bit too far there. Or maybe I was going to go up on the hill. Who knows, man? Who knows what I was thinking here? But nonetheless, that just about sums it up for my nation. Now, there are a lot of other nations we have to go through on this retirement series, retirement episode. So, we're going to have to end it here, man. That is it. That is the retirement of the Chicken Nation. Just about got everything. Missed a couple of small states and just little things like highways and whatnot, man. But this is it, man. Nations 1.0 Xbox One Edition. What a world. What a world. The next episode, we'll go and tour every other nation, as well as we'll actually get into talking about the wars and the events that happened, because we didn't do that this time, and I do feel a little bit bad. We did talk about Lee's Civil War. We'll retouch on that. We'll kind of go in order and whatnot, maybe. We'll see in part 2. But, yes, sir, man. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed it. Shout out to everyone that played this world, man. Yeah, this world was massive. This world was awesome. This world was absolutely insane. If you guys are out there, type banana. Type banana in the chat so I can know who the real OGs are. And with that said, man, I will catch you guys in the part 2 and potentially the final video ever of Nations 1.0 Xbox One Edition.